is all going is the metaverse. The metaverse is discovering the Americas again, or even a new solar system. What you're doing, if you think of the world as constrained by its own GDP because of humans, productivity, resources, the metaverse has none of that. So there is a possibility that the metaverse allows us, people, to earn incomes in a world free of the constraints, free of the debt shackle, in this new world of crypto that allows us to live in different online worlds. You'll be on, one social media site, I'll be in the other. We'll be reading different articles. We live in different worlds already.
Right.
Our worlds overlap quite a lot, but we live in different worlds.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, I can be in a room with different people.
Right.
And they can be all around the world. And they can all be all like-minded, which creates all this splits and a realignment of what states are. And this whole thing of this fourth turning is we're going to a very, very different world, much like the post-British Empire world was very different to that world.
Right. Raoul, here you're speaking to my soul, actually, because ever since I started playing massive online multiplayer games when I was 13, it was 25 years ago. I was 11. I had this deep intuition that this was going to be where the world was going. It's like there were just so many factors that could be economized in the digital world that you can't do in the real world. There's a lot of advantages. And now that we see tech becoming increasingly immersive too, like right now we're still talking through a screen, you and I. I'm looking at a laptop, we're
but this, don't forget, if we'd done this 2 years ago, we'd have done it in studio together.
Right, exactly.
We've already transitioned to this is normal.
Yes. So there's been this accelerant on the use of digital technology, but now the immersiveness of digital technology is also growing in tandem. So my long-standing thesis for the world is that the real world is becoming a video game. And so to hear you say that everything's headed into the metaverse, that resonates with me very loudly.
So the question you and I need to think about is, okay, a full immersive metaverse experience is 15, 20 years away. Now, the metaverse is not one place. It's not one thing. Right. I think of it as like this digital fluidity where we can move around, we do our things. Yeah. We live in the real world, in this digital world, augmented reality, virtual reality. That's all coming. We know that. How the hell do you stop this holing out of people in the meantime? And this is the story now of, I think, and this is really contentious, I think the central bank digital currencies are going to give governments an opportunity to fiscally stimulate in a way that's more fair. Because I think they can therefore put money in the right people. We have to go towards a UBI world, whether we like it or not, until we can replace that income by metaverse and other income. We're seeing it. People are earning money in Axie Infinity. There's stuff going on. Yeah. We're just not there yet. How do we get through this next 15 years, right? That's what I'm really worried about. This next 15, 20 years is about as hard as it comes. Mm-hmm. We're going to have deflationary forces on a gigantic scale. Jobs are going to be replaced. We've got debasement of currency going on. We've got the battle of getting crypto mainstream, that governments don't over-regulate it. And, all of the things we've got 20 years of a battle here. Because let's assume, as you and I have, that debasement is accepted. That is the only answer they've got. Mm-hmm. And it's going to keep going, right? So how do you stop the people revolting? Right. You have to give them money.
So you're
or opportunity.
Redirecting the flow of the Cantillon effect or the redistributive quality of debasement away from asset owners and towards the working class?
Capital to wages. It's capital to labor. That has to happen.
Right.
And this is why the progressive left is going to be hard to beat. Because regardless of your political affiliation or your economic affiliation,
populism,
you've got 86 million millennials who are pissed at what's happened, and they tend to be more progressive in their attitude.
Right.
And they want the rights that their parents got, which is the rights of the American dream. The baby boomers never got it in the end. They kind of destroyed it all.
Yeah.
But so they are going to force, by voting power, progressive policies. And again, whether anybody likes it or not, because the nostalgia of the 1950s, of the current structure of the right, doesn't play to the young.
Right.
The 1950s is like talking about the 1920s boom time to you and I. I mean, it's nothing. Something we see in films or read in a book, like The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. While the baby boomers, they were in their teens. It was Elvis Presley and rock and roll and the Beatles, and they want to go back to that. Of course they do. Everybody wants to go back to their teens, right? So I think that is likely to come, and I think that's the big fourth turning change that happens, that everybody shifts left. But the sooner we all start migrating, which you and I did a while ago, the easier it becomes to see that the emperor's got no clothing. The easier it is to realize, stop waiting for the big bang, understand what the game is. The game is not what you want it to be. The game is what it is. And you have to play the game you're given.
Well,
too many people spend so long angry that the game is not being played as they want it to be.
Right.
Nobody cares. Right? This is why everybody imposes their politics on everything. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
The game is what's being served to you. You deal with that.